Who's to blame for the shutdown? Republicans? Democrats? Can't they compromise?
Increasingly, you're hearing Republicans saying we need to fix the health care
you said
part of this. Like they recognize it's a problem.
You said that Democrats are dying on this hill, but a lot of Republicans are climbing up the same hill right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been outspoken about it. Mike Johnson got confronted on C-SPAN the other day by a Republican. I don't know. I know I'm a lot younger than you, so I'm closer to like fifth grade government 101, but this takes compromise. If you have 53 Republicans and you can't get 7 Democrats to sign on, that means they're not compromising. There were 13 CRs passed under Biden because they let Republicans into the room and they said, listen, you guys can talk to us. We'll talk to you. We'll negotiate. In this case, Democrats are essentially being shut out, and Donald Trump is posting AI memes of Hakeem Jeffries with a sombrero. So if you want to talk about a circus,
it's a meme war.
It's reciprocal from the Democrats. Donald Trump is the president.
There you have it. Adam Mockler of the Midas Touch explaining it very succinctly. If you have a majority of Republicans in the Senate, 53, and you can't get 7 Democrats to join you, that's you not being able to find compromise. And you know who else is criticizing the Republicans? You're going to be surprised.
And I'm not going to stand there and just keep talking the talking points when my own adult children can hardly afford health insurance premiums, when everyone in my district, it's the #1 issue that I hear about day in and day out, not just people on the ACA, but people that have private insurance as well. And I think it's something that we have to talk about. And I don't see why the government needs to be shut down. I really don't. I believe that if Republicans learn to govern and wield power, they can use the nuclear option in the Senate. They can open up the government. We can get back to work for the American people, and Republicans can solve this problem that is a very big problem that we can't ignore.
That's right. Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking logic. What's happened is she's seen that these insurance costs are going up for her people, her own family. And she's finally speaking out. Wow. And now let's see what Mike Johnson has to say.
You've been doing this every single day, coming up here trying to pressure Senate Democrats. They've been not budging. They've blocked this bill time and time again. So at what point, for the good of the country, do you need to change your strategy to try to negotiate a deal with them?
It's a great question. Manu asks, why don't I change my strategy? I don't have any strategy, Manu. I'm doing the right thing, the clearly obvious thing, the traditional thing. That's exactly what Chuck Schumer voted for in March of this year and gave impassioned speeches was the right and only thing. I don't have anything to negotiate. I'll say this again to everyone here. We did not load up the temporary funding bill with any Republican priorities or partisan priorities at all. I don't have anything that I can take off of that document to make it more palatable for them. So all I am able to do is come to this microphone every day, look right into the camera and plead with the American people, as Chairwoman McClain said, to call your Senate Democrats and ask them to do the right thing. We're not playing games. They're playing a game. We're not. The strategy is to do the right and obvious thing and keep the government moving for the people.
Why not move closer to their position?
Their position is this, Manu. Their position is they want to spend $1.5 trillion in your tax dollars to fund nonsense overseas. They want to give $200 billion to illegal aliens. We are not going to do that.
Well, don't you know it? Mike Johnson has no strategy, the same way Donald Trump had a concept of a healthcare plan. Let's look at the statistics.
Who is using this as a whole, the ACA, also known as Obamacare, but who is the group of people that are actually using it?
Yeah, this to me was one of the biggest surprises. When you actually dig into the data, you can understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing what she's doing and why this debate is actually dividing Republicans. Because take a look here. Who are the ACA marketplace enrollees? Look at this. The plurality are actually Republicans. Republicans are more likely to use the marketplace than Democrats are at 45%. Democrats at 35%. Then you get independents at 20%. But the key nugget here is Republicans are more likely, in fact, to be the enrollees in the marketplace than Democrats are. And the majority of the enrollees, 57%, are in Republican-held congressional districts like Marjorie Taylor Greene's.
That can't be good for any Republican who's up for re-election. Their own people need the Affordable Care Act, and they are not willing to give it to them. Whoa, not good. And let's watch another commentator on Fox explain what the Republicans need to do.
To be honest, I think that they all should get back to work and get the government open. And the fact that Johnson has his members out again for a third week, What makes one wonder, why aren't they negotiating? Why aren't his caucuses here? Normally, a lot of the negotiations in a shutdown take place one layer under the leadership. If they're not in Washington, they're not negotiating. So right now, Democrats are here. They want to talk about getting the government open. They want to talk about lowering health care costs. So it looks a little bit unreasonable for Republicans not to be here to have those negotiations. And the American people do want lower health care costs, just like they want lower costs on groceries and housing. So Democrats have a lot of strength right now in these negotiations. And I think it'd be wise for the Republicans to have these negotiations, get the government open, and get health care spending lower.
And there you have it. The Republicans have gone on vacation while the government is shut down. They're not even negotiating. Normally, the two parties would have some of their folks negotiating to come up with a solution. But as you saw earlier, Mike Johnson's got no strategy. He's saying, we got nothing in this bill. We got nothing. We just want to keep the budget going. We got nothing. And the Democrats said, well, at least guarantee, this is where the holdup is, guarantee that you are not going to raise insurance costs on the Affordable Care Act, which their own constituents need. Guarantee that, and we'll sign on. And they said, no, sign on now, but in December, we'll come around and we will not increase the prices, because you really can trust the MAGA Republicans. This is just craziness. First of all, who is to blame for the shutdown? Donald Trump famously said, I think it was during Obama, when there was a shutdown, he said the buck stops with the president. So, hey, man, if we're going to hold you to what you said, then the buck stops with Donald Trump. Secondly, the Republicans have the White House, they got the Senate, and they got the House, right? And they got even the courts. Not that the courts have anything to do with the shutdown in terms of being able to start it again, but the negotiations should be going on, and the Republicans should be leading the way, but they're not. And you saw that one commentator call out Trump for basically going on his Truth Social and insulting the folks that he's supposed to be negotiating with, doing racist memes of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. So that's not how you get a compromise. And then you got Mike Johnson in the House, who has sent, everyone's gone home, so there's no negotiations going on. There's another side note here, by the way. There's a congresswoman in Arizona who won a special election, and Mike Johnson is refusing to swear her in, saying we'll swear her in once the shutdown is over. And he's doing that because once she gets sworn in, she will be the final vote needed to help release the Epstein files. So there's a lot going on here that isn't being talked about by the Republicans. And the Republicans keep saying what's at stake here is that the Democrats want to give illegal immigrants healthcare. That's just not a thing. That doesn't happen. The only time anyone who is undocumented would get healthcare is if they go to the emergency room, and emergency rooms are supposed to take care of whoever shows up. But other than that, there's no illegal immigrants on the Affordable Care Act. You know who's on the Affordable Care Act? A lot of Republicans. A lot of their own constituents, people who can't afford healthcare. Healthcare is getting more and more expensive for everybody. Rent, more and more expensive for everybody. Donald Trump was famously supposed to bring the prices of eggs down day one. They did not come down day one. Things keep getting more and more expensive. He put in the tariffs that made things more and more expensive. He said the tariffs will be paid for by China. No, they're paid for by you and me. And then you have Mike Johnson has the gall to say, oh, these guys want to spend whatever that amount of money is on the Affordable Care Act to give people health care. Meanwhile, he and his whole party passed the big, beautiful bill that gave trillions of dollars of tax breaks to billionaires. So that's where this all just is very hypocritical. Because on the one hand, they're like, well, we can give trillions of dollars of breaks in taxes to very, very rich people. But we can't give health care to people that can't afford it. That's where the hypocrisy comes in. And Mike Johnson just is up there, well-coiffed all the time, hiding something. We all know he's hiding something. He's a creepy dude. And that lady behind him in that clip, I want you to rewind and watch the lady behind him. She must be some Congress lady. And she's just shaking her head and, oh, yeah, you guys are ridiculous. Yeah, the Democrats are ridiculous because they're trying to give health care to illegal immigrants. They say everything is the fault of illegal immigrants now. That's what they say. By the way, just a side note, there were supposed to be 25 million violent, criminal, illegal immigrants in America. And we quickly found out that that was just made up as well. And now they're just arresting anybody who's trying to work. People that have been here for years and years and years, instead of helping them find a path to citizenship and then having their taxes help the country grow, They're going to farms and restaurants and construction sites, everywhere people are working, and they're deporting them or putting them in these internment camps, which, by the way, are funded and owned by their own buddies, their own donors. So it's all very, very obvious that this party does not care about its people. It's all very, very obvious that it's a power grab. It's all a power grab. And it's very, very obvious when you watch Mike Johnson that he knows that he has the power. If he wanted to, if he was really serious about this, he would call his members back and say, guys, come back. Let's negotiate. Instead of doing these press conferences every day and bad-mouthing Democrats, how about you call Democrats and Republicans in? Let's figure out how we can negotiate, come up with a compromise, and move forward. And really, in the end, what's so bad about guaranteeing that healthcare prices in the Affordable Care Act won't go up? What's so bad about that? Why are they so against giving healthcare to people that need healthcare? I'll tell you why. Because they want their buddies who have privatized healthcare and raised the prices of healthcare to profit from poor people that can't afford healthcare. It's all about the capitalistic way. Let our buddies run it. Let our buddies provide healthcare at inflated costs. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene is finally keen to it. Health insurance is too expensive. We got to find ways to help our people that are in the lower class, middle class, even in the upper middle class, who have all kinds of expenses. You know who can afford to live in America right now? Billionaires. You know who got a tax break? Trillions of dollars of tax breaks? Billionaires. So Mike Johnson can save us all the fake anger towards the Democrats wanting to give a break to people who are trying to have lower health insurance costs. It is just total hypocrisy. This shutdown is totally on the Republicans, and I think more and more people are realizing that. And you saw Harry, I think it's Enton over there on CNN showing the statistics. So once people within Republican districts realize, wait a minute, the guy who's supposed to represent me is trying to raise my insurance costs, and he won't come back to Congress to even work to start to open up the government? What? That's not right. And they're also using this, Trump is using this as an excuse to also fire workers in democratically supported agencies. Like he's going after these different workers. Originally they laid off a bunch of people that were, I think, part of the air traffic control. And then they realized, oops, we need them back. And they got them back. It's just a mess. And again, who's to blame? Let's listen to Donald Trump, the party in power. That's what he said. So we're going to quote Trump on this one. The party in power is to blame for the shutdown. Oh, well, hopefully the Democrats will stick to it and be able to get out of this and keep the cost of the Affordable Care Act healthcare low. That's the hope. They have a backbone, hopefully, that they won't cave in and that they will come out and show the people that they stood up for them. Let's see how it plays out. Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a page right here on YouTube. It's at Maz Jobrani. Give it a follow. Leave a comment. Let me know you came from Rebel HQ. And come see me live. I'm touring all over the country. Take care.